So finally, the answer for this question obviously is, hey, what's up folks, GK here. So in my previous videos, you might have seen I have done a lot of mistakes by including passwords inside the cloud function or inside the app engine itself. If you haven't watched those videos, you can watch back. But that's a huge security risk, because if you put your passwords inside the code or within the configuration files as a plain text, anybody who has access to the code can get into your database, and that's a huge security risk. So today I'm going to discuss about GCP's secret manager. So if you're from AWS, AWS also has something called secrets manager. The only difference is this secret manager here, and in AWS it is called secrets manager. But the concepts and everything else pretty much remain same. So you can store your passwords or your girlfriend's name or boyfriend's name or any secret inside a service called secret manager and access via an API and share it with your friends. So with that, let's look into our agenda for today. So I'm going to help you to understand the secret manager service. I'm going to create the secrets from the console. And most importantly, you'll also know about the different IAM roles of secret manager. And this is the most important thing I would consider for the exam as well, because you should know what are the roles that are applicable for secret manager. And most importantly, I'm also going to cover accessing secret from Cloud Function. And if you are here for that specific topic, you can find the timelines in the description. What is secret manager? I'm going by the pure definition of what is there in the document. Secret manager allows you to store, manage, access secrets as binary, blob, or text strings. Now, like I said, if you do not know what is a secret can be anything. It can be a text, it can be a blob, it can be a sentence or whatever you want, or like an API key, or usually the database password, because that's where most of the companies use secret manager to store their database passwords, or the API keys. So these two are the common things that you would see in most of the companies when they're using secret manager, or even Vault for that matter. If you do not know about Vault, you can go back to my previous video. That's a similar service, but that's from HashiCorp, which has the same concept where you want to store your secret somewhere in a service and then access them. Now, the advantage of a secret manager is you can store these passwords in a service in a secure location, which is encrypted with the default key from GCP side. But if you want to use your own KMS key, you can also use your own KMS key. Now, if you have this confusion, like, why do we have to use secret manager? Why can't we just use a plain text and encrypt that with the KMS? Now, of course, you can do that, and you might have seen a lot of articles on that as well before the secret manager was introduced in GCP. But the only issue with that is it's a complex implementation, and also you have to encrypt and decrypt using KMS, because KMS is more useful for storing your cryptographic keys and the data for those keys, but not in general to use your secrets. So in the case of secret manager, it's much more easier to access your secrets by an API, manage them, versionize them, create multiple versions, or delete the keys after a certain duration. So it's specifically designed for that. So before I go into the console, I would like to ask you guys this question, and let me know in the comment section what you think would be the right answer. Now, if you do not know the secret manager, what I would suggest is just go with your logical thinking. It's okay if it is wrong, because by end of this video, you're going to know what is the right answer to select. So application is unable to access the database password, which is stored in the secret manager. Please choose the right IAM role that has to be attached to the service account based on the principle of least privilege. If you do not know the principle of least privilege, I have discussed that in my previous videos. That's the most important concept in a security or governance team. So based on that, which of these following options would you choose? One of these following options. So secret manager admin, secret manager secret accessor, and secret manager viewer. All right, so I'm going to reveal this answer by end of this video. So stay tuned till the end. But if you can guess, feel free to guess and put it in the comment. Okay, so with that, I'm going to take you guys to the console, and then we're going to create our first secret. Okay, so I'm right now in the console. So from here, go to the secret manager. This is the section, and here I have created a secret. You can also create a new secret, something like database password or something. So you can call it as a SQL password or something a meaningful name that you can use it in your application and it's more recognizable, because when you create more secrets, then you will get confused like what is the right name. Now the value you can upload here, like we were discussing before, a blob text, or you can just put a value. For now I'm just calling it as a, so I'm gonna put here as a secret value. I'll say p@55 common password type of thing, right? So this is the password, put it here. And now as far as the regions are concerned, you can either select a region specifically, so that this secret will be stored in that region only, or you can just leave it default so that Google will handle your replication and everything. Now what I would recommend is go through the documentation if you're implementing this in your company, because the billing and all will depend on what you choose here. For now I'm going to leave it as default. And encryption, this is another important thing, because when you, let's say you are storing this value, right, and by default Google uses Google managed key to encrypt this value behind the scenes. You do not have to worry about that. But let's say in your company, especially in big enterprises, you want to take better control of your passwords by encrypting with your own keys, and that's when you would use customer managed encryption keys, or CME keys. And this is a common practice that you would follow in big companies like banking companies, or telecom companies, etc. You can also have a label here, but for now I'm not going to do that, and then click on create. So you see here, after the secret is created, you see the version and the status, and it is encrypted with Google managed key. And now you can either view the secret value here, and when I click on secret value, the reason why I'm able to view this is because I have permission as an admin, as a super admin for this project. I have permission to view the password. So I'm going to go over all the secret manager IAM roles so that you'll understand what is the right permission that is required to view the password. So the other action here is to disable. You can disable the key on a temporary basis, or even destroy the key. And you can also copy the resource ID, which is useful whenever you're trying to integrate this key, or whenever you're trying to extract the password or the secret from a different service like App Engine or Compute Engine or Cloud Function. Now in this video, I'm going to show you how to integrate that with Cloud Function, so you would see that, and then you'll understand how I'm going to use the resource ID. So you can create multiple versions here whenever you want to, create a different secret passwords for your database and then use them. A recommended way is to always expire your secret, but we do not have that option in the console. But if you want to expire a secret automatically after a certain duration, then you can do that by creating a secret from the G-Cloud, and you have a lot of options from G-Cloud. Maybe we can discuss that in the future videos. So now you can see I have two secret names. One is dbpass and then SQL pass. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to the Cloud Function, because that's the tutorial that I want to show you all as a scenario to access the secret from the Cloud Function. Now I've created a sample code here. So when I click on the edit, I'm going to show you the code. So currently I'm using Python 3.8. So code is pretty simple here. So from Google Cloud, import secret manager, and secret is equal to secret manager service, and storing it in client, and then secret ID is dbpass. This is the name of the secret that we have created, and then the project ID and the request, which is important here. This is the resource ID that you have to use, and then the response. Now the most important thing that you want to understand here is we are writing this whole code even before we wrote the function. Now if you have watched my previous Cloud Function videos, we put our logic after the function, right? After we put the function name here and we write the logic. But in this case, we are writing everything, like extracting the secret and all, before writing the function. And this is very important, because if you do this, what will happen is whenever the function is initiated for the first time, it will load the secret into memory, so that in the concurrent request, it doesn't have to talk to secret manager. And that's gonna be very important for a Cloud Function, because Cloud Function is designed in a way to scale up and down very fast. So it's always important that you get the secret before you write the function, and then you use that inside your function as a logic, so that in the concurrent requests your function will not become slower whenever it is trying to access secret, and it's also not a good design to follow that. Now in the requirements.txt, I'm using Google Cloud Secret Manager and the version. So this is what I have done, and I'm going to show you the other important details. Now this cloud function is using the service account, right? Which is an App Engine service account, default service account. Now the reason why this is important is the cloud function should have permission to access that secret. Else what will happen whenever you run this cloud function, or whenever it is trying to access the database, it will throw an error. Now let's go to IAM and let's see what permissions it has. By default, your App Engine service account will have editor role. Maybe I have given that previously. That's what I had. And if I open this, you see here edit member, and I had this project editor, but the project editor doesn't have the secret manager permission to get the secret. So that's why I had to give this permission, secret manager accessor role, which is used to access the secret. Now I think you know the answer of the previous question that I was asking you. So with that, I'm going to show you all the important roles that are important to understand here for secret manager. Now obviously any service will have the admin role, and the admin role pretty much has everything. It has permissions to do everything that you can do, like destroy the secret or create a new secret, labels, versions. You have every permission in that. Now the secret manager, secret accessor is the most important role, because anybody who needs to access the secret, you just have to give them only this permission. You don't have to give them admin. And the version editor, this won't work, because this will only manage your versions of your secrets. And again, version manager is to manage your versions, and this is to add versions to the existing secret, and this is to manage the secrets versions. Often people are confused between the secret manager viewer and secret manager accessor. With secret manager viewer, you can only list the secrets, right? For example, if I have two secrets that I have created, you can list those secrets, but you cannot access the actual value of that secret, which you can only do with secret accessor. I think now you know the right answer for the previous question, and you can even now comment in the comment section what is the right answer before I reveal that, if you're following this video. Okay, now let's go back to the console. So in your case, if you do not have the role, I've just deleted the role to show you all. In your case, if you do not have the role, go to the add another role and select secret manager secret accessor role and click on save. So that's all you have to do, and you have to do that for any service account. Let's say if it is Compute Engine service account, you have to make sure that the Compute Engine service account has the right scopes to access the secret. Now if you go back to the cloud function, and now if I click on test, you should see that I'm gonna see the secret here. As you can see, I can see the secret of the secret that I have created before. To double check, I'm going to show you that secret as well, which is MacBook Pro. So go to the secret here, and this is what I have used before, dbpass, and then view secret value. All right, so I hope you got something out of this video. And then what you can do is, maybe as a test, you can create a Compute Engine or an App Engine and see how you can integrate your App Engine with the secret manager, and then get the secrets from there and use it in your code. Or you can use a Spring Boot application and learn how to integrate your Spring Boot application with secret manager. So finally, the answer for this question obviously is secret manager, secret accessor. Even secret manager admin will work, but the most important thing to understand here is the principle of least privilege. If you get this question in the exam, I do not know if you're going to get this question, because this is something that I've just made it up. So in case if you get this question, these sort of questions in the exam, most importantly, see what permission that is only required for you to complete this job. With that, thank you so much for watching this video, and let me know in the comment section if you have any questions. And if you like this video, give it a like and subscribe to my channel. Thank you all. Bye.